Hey everyone, I'm Heatfire, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about a FedEx delivery driver that kidnapped a 7-year-old girl from Texas. And come to find out, he was a predator all along. Alright, let's get it. Okay, so I do have a few articles. This one is coming out of the New York Times, and it says, FedEx driver charged in kidnapping and killing of girl 7, officials say. About 200 people in Paradise, Texas, searched for Athena Strand, who was taken near her home on Wednesday and found dead on Friday, authorities said. It says, a search for a missing 7-year-old Texas girl ended with the discovery days later of her body and a FedEx contract driver being charged in her kidnapping and killing, the authorities said on Friday. The search for the girl, Athena Strand, began on Wednesday in Paradise, Texas, about 40 miles northwest of Fort Worth. Nearly 200 volunteers and numerous law enforcement agencies using dogs and helicopters with thermal imaging participated in the search. Now this is crazy. So a few things here. You don't expect a delivery driver to kidnap any kid or do anything horrendous like this, but we do live in a real world, and unfortunately bad things happen all the time. It's just that this particular instance, FedEx is going to look bad, and it's at the cost of some crazy psychopath who just decided to pick up this little girl and do her harm. So it says that her body was found on Friday, but the authorities declined to specify where. The authorities identified the FedEx driver as Tanner Lynn Horner, 31, and said he has been charged with aggravated kidnapping and capital murder of a person under 10 years old. The authorities said that Mr. Horner did not know the family or the girl, and that Athena had been taken from near her home. So that's another crazy thing. It's like, did he just go in through the window? Like, did he pick her up from her driveway? How did he get so close to her that he was able to get her inside of the van to begin with and then drive away? It's like there's no protocols when it comes to this type of thing. So another thing, it's like you gotta teach your kids to stay away from strangers. Don't talk to strangers. Don't do anything with strangers. Stranger danger, it's a real thing. Says the Wise County Sheriff Lane Atkins said that Mr. Horner confessed to killing the girl and said that the authorities believe that she had been killed within an hour of being abducted. I'm not sure how they would know that, but I guess they know their science when it comes to this. They declined to specify how she died or what led them to believe that she died within an hour of her abduction. It's been a really, really tough few days, and I'm really proud of the people here who helped us get some resolution, to get some understanding, to provide answers for the families, Sheriff Aiken said during a news conference on Friday. The authorities said that Athena had stepped off her school bus and arrived home in Paradise on Wednesday around 4:15 p.m. Officials did not specify if anyone was home at the time. My guess is no one was home at the time in order for this to happen. Couldn't have been. Says then around 6:40 p.m. Athena's stepmother called 911 to report the girl missing. The authorities arrived at the home within 14 minutes, Sheriff Aiken said, and an Amber Alert was issued. Sheriff Aiken said that a tip that came in on Friday helped to identify Mr. Horner. We knew early on in the investigation that the FedEx driver made a delivery in front of the house about the same time that the little Athena, 7-year-old Athena, came up missing. The sheriff said, and continued, good work by this investigation team. They were able to determine that the driver abducted Athena. And not only that, but this guy, this Tanner guy, he's already had a history of being a predator. So I did a few digging and found this article right here of another woman, Shay Marie, who says that she was I'm not going to say the word here, but she was forced upon when she was 16 years old by this guy right here. All right. It says Athena Strand, FedEx killer, R-word woman when she was 16. It says Shea Marie, Texas woman claims being previously R-word at hands of Tanner Lynn Horner, man who confessed to abducting and killing 7-year-old Paradise girl Andrea Strand. A 31-year-old FedEx driver alleged to having confessed to abducting and killing 7-year-old missing Paradise girl Andrea Strand has been accused on social media of R-word, a then 16-year-old Texas girl in 2014. Responding to the tragic news of Andrea's body being recovered close to the family's home, where she was kidnapped on Wednesday night while standing in the family driveway, Shea Marie, who's now 23, on social media claimed being R-worded by Tanner Lynn Horner when she was just 16 and blackout drunk. Says Marie, who has made the contention claim repeatedly in 2019, posted that the suspect on Facebook's page, a friendly reminder that Tanner Horner is a R-word. In the comment thread, another woman said he drove her Uber. The woman who wrote the post added in another, Tanner Lynn Horner, the man who R-worded me at 16, 8 years ago, murdered Athena Strand, a 7-year-old girl. I hope the family gets the justice they deserve. I hope he rots. And I hope that everyone who didn't believe me when I've been talking about this for 8 effing years does now. F all of you. Okay, so she's got every right to be angry. She apparently talked about this, but no one believed her. I don't know why she didn't go to the authorities. I don't know why these women don't go to authorities when these things really do happen. That's what you need to do to begin with. Go to authorities right away. And here is a post that she posted. I'm gonna guess it's on Facebook, but this is what she looks like. This is her picture, and I'm not gonna read all of it. I'm just gonna read this headline. But it says, "Kept touching me. I pushed his hands off multiple times." So I did read this article, and yeah, she ended up doing acid with this guy, hanging out with him. I mean, she's underage. Yeah, he's overage. Don't know why she was hanging out with this overage man to begin with, but that's what she was doing. She put herself in a dangerous situation, even though he is a predator to begin with. So, I can look at it both ways. Bad on her for being around an adult to begin with, and bad on him for even being a predator to begin with. So I am going to show a video, but let me read this first. It says, was Andrea sexually assaulted? According to the Wise County Sheriff's Office, Andrea was dropped off at home from school at her home in Paradise at 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday. At some point afterwards, the youngster was outside her home after an argument with her stepmother. At the same time, Horner was delivering a FedEx package to her house. When Athena didn't come back inside and she could not be found in her bedroom, her stepmom reported her missing to police around 6:40 p.m. Police believe the girl was likely abducted from her driveway just 200 yards away from the safety of her home. Authorities were only able to connect the dots between Athena's disappearance and Horner's delivery route following the tip-off, with the FBI, Texas Ranger, and Wise County Sheriff's Office working in tandem to bring the case to a speedy yet tragic end. Although 2 false leads sent police looking in the wrong places for the girl, the youngster's body was eventually found 10 miles away from her home. And that's just yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. But go ahead and show this video and then come to the conclusion.
Breaking news: after a massive search for a missing 7-year-old girl in Wise County, the Wise County Sheriff says she was found dead. The sheriff says a delivery driver abducted her, murdered her, and has now confessed.
Here for all North Texas. Fox 4 News starts now.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. It appears a missing 7-year-old girl was murdered during a crime of opportunity. Athena Strand disappeared early Wednesday evening. The sheriff says her body was found today after evidence pointed to a delivery driver in the area Wednesday who the sheriff says kidnapped and killed her and confessed. Fox 4's Macy Jenkins has the breaking details out of Wise County. Macy.
Hi, Heather. Well, we got that news just after 10 o'clock tonight during a press conference with Sheriff Lane Aiken here in Wise County. He says that the body of 7-year-old Athena Strand was found earlier this afternoon. Now, the information about that suspect is that he is a 31-year-old FedEx driver named Tanner Lynn Horner. He confessed to abducting and killing the girl. Sheriff Aiken says earlier that her body was recovered about 3 hours ago. Take a listen to the press conference.
And continued good work by this investigative team, they were able to determine that the driver abducted Athena. And from the investigative standpoint, digitally as well as good old interviews, we think Athena died within just a very hour or so, the very hour or so after her departure from her home.
Now, just before 5 o'clock this evening, we came across a section of County Road 4599, just south of Highway 114. Now, this is about 7 miles away from the Strand home. We saw several law enforcement agencies, including Wise County Sheriff's Office and Texas DPS. They were combing through a heavily brushed and wooded area, even looking into the ditches on the side of the road. Sheriff Aiken says information from interviews initially led them to that area, but it turns out that information was incorrect as her body was recovered elsewhere. Now, acting FBI agent in charge, Jim Dwyer, says it was digital evidence that led them to that FedEx driver, but he would not give specific details about that evidence. And officials would not comment on whether or not Athena was sexually assaulted, only saying that may come out later in the investigation. Sheriff Aiken says at this time, in his time with both Wise County and the Texas Rangers, Athena's case has personally been one of the most challenging he has ever faced.
You know, it's one of the toughest investigations that I've been involved in because it's a child. And anytime there's a child that dies, it just hits you in your heart.
Now, earlier tonight in Lake Worth, Fort Worth police had set up roadblocks on Somerville Place Road. Aiken says this is where the suspect lives. They would not elaborate on whether or not any evidence was found at the home, but they did say that he lived there. Now, just to recap, we've been covering this story for a few days. The search for 7-year-old Athena started on Wednesday. Authorities say she got into an argument with her stepmother Wednesday afternoon, sometime after getting off of the school bus at 4:15. When the stepmom went to check on Athena around 5:15, she says the child was gone, and after searching for more than an hour, she called 911. The sheriff says Athena's father was driving to a hunting trip out of town. Her biological mother lives in Oklahoma and drove down later on when she found out what had happened. Authorities say Athena's family is understandably devastated after learning what happened to the girl a little over 48 hours ago. Again, that suspect name is Tanner Lynn Horner. He's a 31-year-old from Lake Worth, a FedEx driver. He is charged with capital murder and aggravated kidnapping. He is now behind bars in the Wise County Jail, and his bond has been set at $1.5 million. Heather, a very sad end to 2 days of searching for 7-year-old Athena Strand and a devastated family. But this is wrapped up here. I will send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we do live in the real world, and unfortunately, there are predators. Fortunately for this little girl, she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. The dad was away on a hunting trip. The stepmom, more than likely, wasn't even near. But the story goes that she got into an argument with her stepdaughter, and her stepdaughter went outside, and then boom, she gets abducted. Now, who am I to say that, this couldn't have happened to another kid had it not been her? I don't know. All I know is that there are some sick people out there who want to hurt others, and they're always looking, they're always watching. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I do have a statement from FedEx, and I'll read that for you guys real quick. So this is a statement for what they're saying, what happened with this incident. It says, FedEx statement regarding Athena Strand, December 3rd, 2022. Says our thoughts are with the family of Athena Strand during this most difficult time. Words cannot describe our shock and sorrow surrounding this tragic event. We continue to cooperate fully with the investigating authorities at this time. Any further questions should be directed to law enforcement. And yeah, well, you know, good news is they caught the guy. He is arrested. He will be charged, and justice will be served. You know, it's just one of those things where you gotta watch your back all the time. And you know, again, I know drivers do stupid things all the time. I actually work in the warehouse industry right now, and you know, the job sucks. The job sucks, but you know, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do what it takes to survive. But to take it to the next step, well, this guy was already a predator to begin with. He already had an agenda to begin with. But to take it to the next step and do this to hurt a little kid, nah, it's not right. It's not good at all. But this was a hard one to write about. It really was. It was a hard one to shoot for. But all right, I'll go ahead and end the video there, guys. If you like it, give it a like, comment, share the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.